YouTube, what's the deal? It's your girl Jahira, and I am back. Hey, y'all. What's going on? So, I'm coming back in here to give y'all the recap of last night's episode of Oprah's Lifeclass. I believe it was episode 3. Yeah, and it was entitled, it was entitled Becoming What You Believe. I'm sorry, it's been a heck of a morning, y'all. But, yeah, I wanted to come in and give you the recap. It was a really great episode. I was getting my hair done, despite whatever you see right now, as I was looking at it. But I was really engrossed in this episode, and it really does touch on, sort of the principles of The Secret and The Power, if you've read both. And y'all, of course, I'm doing this in conjunction with my two sisters, two amazing women who have brought so much to my life personally, and this particular Lifeclass series in general. That, of course, being Diamond Styles and TSX Chanel. So the premise of the show was basically to instruct people. Again, the whole purpose has been living your best life. Some of the notes that I took from this show and the subsequent live stream afterwards were, I loved when Oprah said, "You are where you are in life because your actions and your energy brought you here." This is this is a key point in terms of exploring a deeper, greater, better relationship with yourself. And it's not an easy thing to swallow. It's really not, because, human nature tends to put us in a position where we excuse our behavior. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse my behavior. But you are where you are in life because your actions and energy brought you here. It took me some time to get to this place. And so this was not so much an aha moment for me, because it's actually something I've been working on. And again, I'm just going to speak for my own self here. But wherever I am in my life, wherever I am financially, wherever I am emotionally, psychologically, physically, the responsibility is solely mine. I am not a byproduct of my circumstances. I am not a byproduct of extraneous forces working together or for or against me. I am where I am simply because my actions or lack of action has brought me here. It is a huge thing to come to grips with the fact that you are solely responsible, just you, solely responsible for exactly where you're at in life. Be it good, bad, or indifferent, you have to own that. The same way I have to own that. She went on to say, you become what you believe. I found this, I couldn't even tell you whose wall it was on. I was on Facebook the other day, as I am wont to be, and somebody had posted something on Facebook, and I can't remember who did it, but what they said really did strike a chord with me. And what they said was, if you think you can, you're right. And if you think you can't, you're right. I know it sounds simple, but wow. And there was the aha moment. There was the light bulb for me personally. It took me, y'all saw my video a while back called Dreams versus Intentions. And it took me 32 years of life on earth to be able to get to this place that I'm at, where I say, I am worthy of, I deserve, I've earned, you know what I mean? Simply on the strength of being a citizen of this earth, I deserve all the good that, the universe is capable of providing for me. But I will tell y'all the story from many, many, many years ago. In the first years of my transition, I attended a drop-in center for LGBT youth. and there was a man who didn't work at the center but was affiliated with the center and would pop up every now and then. And this man's name was Bob. I'm so not kidding, Bob. And Bob said, myself and a couple of friends of mine who were trans women were sitting around, and Bob was talking about, I can't even remember the context of the conversation, but he said something. He said the only guaranteed jobs for transgendered women in this country are drag shows and prostitution. Those are the only guarantees. And that is verbatim what he said. And I, at the time, was about 17 years old. And when he said that, however innocuously it might have been, however innocently it may have been intended, it planted a seed in me. And that seed grew into a mighty oak. All I can give y'all in this series, I know I'm sitting all kinds of crooked and I'm just messing up here. All I can give y'all in this series is the benefit of my experience, which is exactly what I've been trying to do. So, I will say this. In my teenage years, into my early adulthood, I was made by this man's statement and sort of by what I observed, having had the experience of a woman of trans experience, in the mid to late 90s. I grew up acutely aware of the fact that there are no expectations for the life of a person like me. There may be very rare exceptions to this rule, but by and large, there were no expectations placed on my life. If I succeeded, it was a surprise. And if I failed, it was understood that I was going to. I mean, literally, no expectations. And so I grew up settling. I grew up kind of with no desire to move beyond mediocrity. And because my person was thought of in such a minuscule way, I began to be grateful for things that the average person would find, subpar. And I mean, I remember this very clearly. Like, I was living in this apartment that, I mean, you've had shoes that were bigger than this apartment. And I mean, just, oh, thank you for my shitty apartment. And thank you for my bullshit relationship with a guy that only lifted up a finger to, smack me with. Like, thank you for, filling this void in my life, because I know I'll never get better than this. So I'm very happy where I'm at, having to look up just to see rock bottom. This was my mentality for a number of years, because I didn't have people, telling me, and I didn't have the access to the part of the soul where your absolute truth lives. And that's the part that eventually spoke up and said, you deserve so much more than what you've allowed yourself to have. You are worthy of infinitely more than what society thus far has dictated was appropriate for you. There is no reason why you should not be fully partaking in and participating in the benefits of the world. My mother, starting when I was about 23, maybe 22 years old, said, you know what, if you could get paid to talk, you would be a millionaire. And she said, if there was ever anybody in this world who needed a talk show, it's you. Because you know how to talk and you know how to reach people. And your mother is kind of like contractually obligated to tell you this. So it was just kind of like one of those, oh, mom. See, but in my head, I'm going, I am overweight. I am not biologically female. There were a million I am nots that filled the space in between what the universe knew I was capable of and what I believed I should even be so bold as to ask for. And what bridged that gap for me was coming into the knowledge that I was worthy. I was worthy of happiness. I was worthy of peace. I was worthy of love. I was worthy of prosperity. And simply because, for every voice in my head that was screaming, why me? Who am I to ask for these things? There was that one small, crystal clear voice that said, who are you not to ask for these things? And once I tapped into that voice, once I finally connected with this part that said, you know what? There's a quote I'm going to give y'all, and it comes from a woman by the name of Dorian Corey, and she said, if you shoot an arrow and it goes real high, hooray for you. There is no glass ceiling when it comes to your life. Despite what you have been told, despite what you have told yourself, despite the millions of adjectives that you could string together as to explain or justify why you can't reach any further, why you can't do any more, why you can't be any more. The only person truly capable of holding you back from walking into your destiny is you. And I made the decision to stop doing that. To stop. To kill that thing within me that says, you can't, you're not, you won't. And I replaced that with, I can, I should, and I will. And my life has been infinitely better for making that decision. I'm not coming to y'all from my private jet. I'm not swimming in luxury yet. But my time is well on its way. And when it gets here, I will have the humility to recognize the time period that it seemed impossible to me. And the gratitude that I already feel for what I know is on its way is far more than I could begin to explain to y'all. Step into the best aspects of yourself. Step into unabashed, uncompromising joy. And activate your dreams. Activate your life's desires. Because, even if it doesn't pan out the way that you would like it to, know that you will feel so much better for it. And life is too short not to feel freaking incredible. I'm sorry, it just is. I'm looking forward to tonight's episode of Oprah's Lifeclass, y'all. I'm not going to turn this into a into a whole thing. I'm not going to turn it into a 20-minute video. But I will say, step in. Absolutely step in. Looking forward to lesson 4 tonight, which is the truth will set you free. And so until next time, YouTube, please continue to support my sisters who are far more articulate than I am, Diamond Styles and TSX's Chanel. Of course, I will be linking their YouTube pages below, and I will see y'all after the live stream tonight. So, with that being said, I love y'all. I'll talk to you very soon. One love. Walk in your destiny. You have nothing to lose. Walk in your destiny. Bye.